Welcome. This will be a presentation on Google Plus Analytics. My name is Giovannie Medina. This is Ryan Thompson, Sandee Galleon, and we'd like to take this time to thank all our viewers who are going to be viewing this on YouTube on demand. Thank the students here as well as our professor. Okay, so basically what we're going to talk about is what is Google Plus. Google Plus is for innovation. You're going to see this. We're going to be talking about new creative ways to use Google Plus, which is great. I think a lot of people out there on YouTube would like to see that, and a lot of students here would like to know about it. It's for discussion. Something that I think is great in Google Plus we're going to talk about is the fact that Google Plus is a discussion board. It's for you to interact with strangers. It's not just for friends. It's not for your Twitter followers. And we're going to be talking about that soon, and there's some really cool Google Hangout things you'll check out in a bit. Google Plus is for journalists. It's for storytelling. It's for social discovery, you guys. Next slide, please. Something that has plagued Google Plus ever since its inception has been the negative perceptions that's been plagued. You can see you try to do a play on words here. Google negative, not Google Plus. And it's been this way because journalists just don't favor it. They believe they want more control. They want Twitter. They want to control that message. And it's just here's a quote that really illustrates it. Let me just give you this quote. This was by Phoebe Connolly. She's one of the people who was doing the presentations for our Corner Institute courses. And she said that she's not a big fan of Google Plus because of the lack of control of users and content. We're going to kind of debunk this myth, excuse me, and you'll see what the cool things it can do.
Oh, could you go back just a moment?
Certainly.
I'll point out that she's with Yahoo. And then we'll go to Google Plus here. 2012 is the year of the elections and Hangouts on Google Plus. What I did is I put into my machine Google Plus journalism and got in political terms 4 million results. And I went to find one of the best examples and one of the sorriest examples. The best one is Sarah Hill, who actually uses Google Hangout as her news. And another example here is where Sarah Hill is referencing nominations for 4 Emmy Awards for 2012, including Google Hangouts in cyberspace, and it was coverage of bombings in Norway. So this is a really fabulous example. Sarah is in 1,600,000 plus Google Plus circles. The negative, which is possibly why we're seeing Google Plus in this light, is the very first political experiment with Google Plus I found. And it was in Australia, and Madam Prime Minister was reported to have handled her Google Plus Hangout as though she was more domineering than Chairman Mao. So it didn't get a whole lot of people who wanted to follow it. Google Plus is being debated and trying to be fair and biased, so I gave both the approval and disapproval 5 bullet points. Free speech on Google Plus, no question. Anybody can join and anybody can put people in circles. You can add anyone you want to. I just added Sarah Hill myself. Public influence. Within this domain, you can reach anyone at any time, and the individual citizen journalist can go viral with their Google Plus accounts. Convenience and collaboration, we experienced that with our 2 Hangouts, and the guys will go into that. Hangout features themselves are a real plus. You have screen view. You have where you can download documents without even leaving your Google page while you're in the Hangout. There's a chat on the side, which is pretty much like Twittering and very much like a webinar. And adaptability. If something isn't going right, you can stop the Google Plus at any time. You can restart it. People can come in and out, and it's very versatile. For the opposition, I have to give their point. There is a lot of skepticism about the account because it's not like a Skype or a webinar where you know it's an authority and you see all the documentation at the bottom. It's not documented sources for the most part. Compatibility. People may not have a webcam. They can still chat and their faces are not seen, so that's a little bit of a problem. And those dreadful message errors that some of us receive. Awkwardness, well, this is just obvious. Our webcams are on, and you can see people's facial expressions when the other person's making their comments. It's not like Twitter where you're a little bit more anonymous. Your face is right there. And it's not like Facebook. Your face is right there. Etiquette. This again, the Hangout has to have a monitor to some point. People have to take their turns and respond to each other's questions. And the opposition sort of underestimates how people treat each other and the level of respect that they actually have in this forum. And security reasons is the biggest one. I probably should have that at the top. Personal privacy, because your webcam will show your possessions to some degree, and it might be available to an audience you don't really want to see it. And now to bring it to what our story is, we posed the question, what does it mean to be ready to vote? In assuming ready to vote from a political scientist, that would mean having your ID, being registered, knowing your polling place, knowing the dates of the election, and knowing what time to vote, basic things like that, knowing about caucuses and about electoral colleges. But for the most part, being ready to vote seems to be being familiar with the candidates. And both of these candidates and many, many others hold hangouts all the time. So you can see President Obama in January. Mitt Romney has had several. And almost every time they go to a city, they host these hangouts.
All right, so I'm going to be talking with you all about the procedure through which we went to host our Google Hangouts. We came up with the idea that hosting a Google Hangout would be a great way to crowdsource, definitely, as you do in other social media websites. And so we took to Google Plus for that. I sent out a tweet around 4-ish or 5-ish asking my followers if they would like to participate, if they had time. I didn't get too much response back, so I sent out another one. And that kind of shows just how what journalists will go through if they're trying to crowdsource people, and you know, it's short time span. But then I also posted on my Facebook and Google Plus and was able to get a small crowd in there, so it was really good. What we did next was, well, let me teach you all how to get on it. When you're on Google Plus, which is plus.google.com, Google makes it really simple for you, there's a little button on the side of the screen, it'll be on this side of the screen, that says Start a Hangout. Once you click that, it brings you into a window and has all the people whom you have in your circles, and you can select which ones you would like to participate in your Hangout and give your Hangout a name. And then there's a box below that allows you to check it, and that'll record the Hangout for you. We'll show you a recorded Hangout a bit later on here. But for this one, we posed the question, what does it mean to be ready to vote, to our audience. This is just a screenshot of our first Google Hangout. And you can see us there and some of our guests. And I have in here leading the discussion, because when you are the one hosting, as I'm sure journalists in the future, as they do this, you're the one in charge. So I said left to right, you know, very democratically, I guess. Will everyone answer the questions? And so it went really well, and we had a positive impact. On our second one, we were able to procure someone very familiar with law and politics, Mr. Joshua Fredrickson, who is a law student and just very adamant about politics. And we'd like to share with you a quick clip from that Hangout. Let me get it to the right second here.
Use the critical thinking skills that you're learning in your classes with your great professors, and figure out what you think is the objective reality.
We're getting a question from Sandee, our other group member, who she's talking to us on the chat and not through voice of you, and she wants to know, Josh, who will be VP?
Well, that's a very interesting question, and as we all know, anybody who paid attention the last time, it was a very close race substantive, perhaps, candidate, he would have had a much stronger chance against then Senator Obama.
Very cool. In that example, Sandee posed a question. She wasn't able to get on webcam, so that's a cool feature where viewers who won't be able to get on webcam, or if there's a lot of people at once, can ask a question to the guests we have on, and that was just really neat to experience that. Next slide.
So as you can see here, Google Plus, you know, it's amazing because in that video, Sandee wasn't even on the feed visually, but what she was doing is she was submitting questions similarly to how when you guys do your courses in Pointer, how when it's live you can submit questions and the questions will be answered by the guest speaker. It's a really interactive way, and that was something we had no idea you could do on Google Plus. Google Plus, first of all, is not meant to replace anything. It's not going to replace any social network. It's supposed to supplement it. So as Ryan explained earlier, he used Twitter to get people to come onto the Hangout. All, you know, I mean, this was citizen journalism, you know, at its best. This is great stuff that journalists can use, you know, whether you're a citizen, you know, or if you're working for, and just trying to get a feel for the audience, you know, what's going on, the atmosphere, the environment, wherever it is you're targeting. News reports. So Google Plus is a unified message board. It's not about connecting you with the people you already know, but the people you don't know. It's about connecting with strangers. Just as Sandee pointed out, you can pretty much add anyone you want into your circle, and anyone can come into your circle. There's no real like security steps, or you know, it's really interesting like that. It's meant for you to engage people you don't know and build rapport, which I think is just fantastic. Coming from, you know, a journalism background, not myself, but people in this class. Some viewers who might be watching this. Google Plus is also about social discovery. There's a reason you can put strangers to your circle. You want to build your network, you know. I believe we found out through LinkedIn, that's a great place for advanced searching to find professionals for a story you might be covering. You know, although Google Plus, I don't think is at that same level, I still think it's great to just, you know, get involved with just people you don't even know. Who knows? It could turn into a story. And at this point, I'd like to open it up to questions. Is there any questions about what we did, how we went out with doing it, what other things you might be able to do on Google Plus?
Now, Dr. Niemeyer, you should have questions because we didn't go over Google Plus in this class. So
no,
what do
we
you have
didn't at
questions
all.
about?
Well, okay, what kind of product did you put together, or could you put together from this as far as journalistically?
Well, we put together the video recorded, which was more or less like kind of what we, I guess, in this class, we're going to call a man on the street kind of interview, and feeling the temperature of the political climate and of the voter population.
Okay. I would imagine that you could also use it then to simply collect interviews or quotes from people really around the world. There's no geographical boundaries with social media, and particularly with Google Plus.
It certainly has an educational aspect to it because, you know, you like to speak to someone who knows more about a certain field and educate you at the same time. Educate, you know, viewers. You can easily submit it to YouTube. There's an on-air feature which Ryan explored and found through Media Bistro. I believe they gave some good instructions, and it really highlighted, you know, the publicity side of your interview or you know, session or seminar, whatever you're having, which I think is just amazing and can certainly be applicable to what some things we're doing here. Certainly, it reminded me a lot of the Pointer Institute and what they're doing through their seminars and through disseminating information. You know, the push factor rather than the pull. So I just thought that was really intriguing.
I might add to that, Sarah Hill, the journalist that I referenced, she actually holds hangouts for events that are happening. So the witnesses to an incident can chime right in, and she gets instant information from them and their, you know, the visual, whatever they have right there at their disposal, they can send it right into her hangout, and she has the hangout sometimes right while her television news program is on. So it's immediate. So
how would you sum up then Google Plus for use by journalists, for use in politics, for use for collecting information? How would you sum it up? Is this a positive tool?
Yeah, this is a great tool for collecting information from Well, of course, Google Plus is already used as, right, a meeting tool, kind of, but we wanted to use it in more of a journalistic tool. So for people like Sarah Hill, like having, you know, anyone who sees that we're having a hangout come on and give their insights on political issues or things like that, and as well as fielding political questions. And you can use a lot of the features, like the YouTube feature and Google Docs feature and the links feature, which is built into Google Plus to kind of show people different things that's happening. And, you know, if you wanted to show them a cool interactive map of how Florida is looking and what counties are blue and red, you could do that just on Google Plus and have everyone give their feedback and say, oh, my county is this way, but, you know, I have a neighbor and I see all these signs for this one party, but it's interesting to see that we're a red county. Yeah.
I would just to add to that, great explanation, Ryan. Just to add to that, I think a lot of the journalists look at it as just like one piece of device. You know, whether I should use this or that. But the real, like, I think the epiphany that I had is Google Plus is really a place where all of them can come together and really use it and apply Twitter. You know, apply Facebook, apply images, apply, you know, streaming video, and give that all-encompassing experience. So that way you can get hit with all that at one time, which I think is just great.
And I will add the individual citizen journalist can certainly use this tool. They can network as though they were a news network. Where else? It is so cool.
Thank you very much. Nice
presentation.
presentation.
Thank you. And we're on YouTube.
Thanks, everyone.
That's great. Good job, guys.